The Republican Convention is in full swing, complete with protesters.
Absolutely. Every day for the next 2 weeks during the Republican and Democratic conventions. Marquette Law School pollster Charles Franklin will join us here on Live at 4 with analysis. He joins us now. And boy, you didn't have to wait long for it to really get going.
Didn't really get off to a slow start, did it today?
Did not.
Yeah, I'm seeing headlines that say chaos erupts at Republican convention. Maybe chaos is a little bit extreme, but this was today the last gasp, I think, of the Never Trump people, or at least the attempt to make that happen. And you're also beginning to pick up some of the signals about how much the campaign, the Trump campaign and the convention will be, let's come together and hug each other versus, ha, we won. That's, I think, going to be really worth watching this week to see.
Is it even possible to predict what could happen? I mean, up to this point, it's just already been a reality TV show.
You know, prediction has not been the strong suit this year, so I think we should wait and see. Look, I think that the Trump campaign, with some significant input from the Republican Committee, National Committee, has structured a set of speakers more or less that they want to put forward the face of the country, of the party to the country. And some of that's pretty unconventional, but it's not as unconventional as we had talked about with sports stars and coaches and others. There's mostly political folks with some important exceptions.
Entertainment.
But, you know, Governor Walker's going to speak. I gather Senator Johnson is on the speaking list now. That was an on-again, off-again question, and that's the sort of thing that under normal circumstances, you would have known that these major political figures up for election this year would have a place. With Senator Johnson, it was a last-minute call, and that reflects the uncertainty of a lot of elected officials of whether they want to appear at the convention or not. In the end, Senator Johnson decided to go, but he'd certainly taken a long time to decide to do that.
Which is just the opposite of what conventional wisdom would say. You want to be up on that stage.
Absolutely, but the question is, do people think that Donald Trump can run a strong campaign? Can he help them win their races, whether or not he wins theirs? Is pushing against him something that ultimately hurts them down the ticket? Because the more people, more Republican voters that don't come out for Trump at the top of the ticket, the fewer voters are out for those like Senator Johnson and all of Republicans in the legislature down the ticket. So this is a delicate balancing act, and you're seeing elected officials across the country struggle with how to deal with it.
So his wife, Melania, we just saw a video of her a while ago, is going to be speaking tonight, and he's going to be introducing her. What do you think the strategy of having her basically go first is?
I think it's not uncommon to have a spouse speak at the beginning of the convention, or a close friend or relative, perhaps a brother or something like that. So I don't think it's all that unusual for her to speak. For him to introduce her is a bit unusual, and we'll see how that plays out tonight. But one of the things conventions typically do is try to build up the positive image of the nominee, as well as to attack and create more of a negative image for the opponent. So one of the things we're seeing begin to come together here with her speech is the classic, let me tell you what a great guy my husband is, and lay out that positive story.
And the Wisconsin delegation this morning, Paul Ryan spoke, did not mention Trump's name.
That's my understanding, is that he talked about the new policies that his caucus is putting forward. I think as you listen to all of the speakers through the week, listen to how much do they focus on an issue agenda they care about, conservative issues or Congressman Ryan's new agenda. How much do they focus on the negatives about Hillary Clinton? And how often do you hear them praising Donald Trump? That'll tell us a lot about how this is progressing until we get to Thursday night with the really, really big speech.
Well, we'll make sure you have a lot of coffee this week so you can keep track of what's going on.
Must see viewing tonight, I think. Make some popcorn. All right, Charles, we'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.